Welcome to Psych IQ, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of psychology and personality types. Today, we're delving into the intricate mind of the INFJ personality type, known for their empathy, insightfulness, and complex inner world. However, even the INFJ, with their deep understanding of emotions and motivations, is not immune to fears. Let's explore some aspects that might send shivers down the spine of an INFJ. 1. Overwhelming empathy. INFJs possess a profound ability to empathize with others, often experiencing the emotions of those around them as if they were their own. This heightened sensitivity allows them to deeply connect with others on an emotional level, offering comfort and support in times of need. However, this gift of empathy can also become a burden when it becomes overwhelming. Imagine walking into a crowded room and immediately feeling the collective emotions of everyone present. For an INFJ, this is not just a hypothetical scenario, but a daily reality. They absorb the joys, sorrows, and anxieties of those around them, sometimes without even realizing it. This constant flood of emotions can leave them feeling emotionally drained and exhausted, longing for moments of solitude to recharge. Moreover, INFJs may struggle to distinguish between their own emotions and those of others, leading to a sense of confusion and inner turmoil. They may find themselves experiencing mood swings or emotional fluctuations that seem to have no apparent cause, simply because they are picking up on the emotional energy of those around them. In relationships, INFJs may find themselves overly invested in the emotions of their loved ones, often prioritizing their needs above their own. While this selflessness is admirable, it can lead to a neglect of their own emotional well-being. INFJs may neglect their own needs and desires, sacrificing their own happiness for the sake of others. Additionally, the overwhelming empathy experienced by INFJs can make it difficult for them to establish healthy boundaries in their relationships. They may struggle to say no to others or assert their own needs, fearing that doing so will cause conflict or hurt feelings. This can lead to a cycle of resentment and frustration, as INFJs find themselves constantly putting others' needs before their own. Despite the challenges it presents, overwhelming empathy is also a defining characteristic of the INFJ personality type. It allows them to forge deep and meaningful connections with others, fostering empathy, understanding, and compassion in their relationships. By learning to manage their empathy and prioritize self-care, INFJs can harness this gift to create positive change in the world around them. 2. Feeling misunderstood. Despite their empathetic nature, INFJs often feel misunderstood by others. Their depth of thought and complex inner world can be challenging for others to grasp, leading to feelings of isolation and alienation. The fear of never truly being understood can weigh heavily on an INFJ's mind. INFJs often find themselves navigating a world that doesn't quite seem to resonate with their innermost thoughts and feelings. Despite their genuine efforts to connect and communicate, they may encounter persistent feelings of being misunderstood by those around them. One of the primary reasons for this disconnect lies in the intricacy of the INFJ's inner world. INFJs possess a complex array of thoughts, emotions, and values that drive their actions and interactions. They tend to see the world through a nuanced lens, often considering multiple perspectives and layers of meaning in any given situation. However, this depth of perception can be challenging for others to grasp, particularly those who prioritize practicality or simplicity over complexity. In social settings, INFJs may struggle to convey the full breadth of their thoughts and emotions, leading to misinterpretations or oversimplifications of their true intentions. Furthermore, INFJs may find themselves yearning for deeper connections and conversations that delve beyond the surface level. They crave meaningful interactions where they can explore ideas, share insights, and connect on a soulful level. Yet, In a world driven by fleeting conversations and superficial exchanges, INFJs may feel like their need for depth and authenticity goes unfulfilled. This sense of being misunderstood can also extend to the INFJ's creative endeavors and personal aspirations. They may pour their heart and soul into projects or pursuits that hold deep significance for them, only to find that others fail to fully appreciate or comprehend their vision. This can be disheartening for INFJs, who often seek validation and recognition for their unique perspectives and contributions. Despite these challenges, INFJs remain resilient in their pursuit of understanding and connection. They continue to strive for authenticity and empathy in their interactions, even in the face of misunderstanding or indifference. Through patience, empathy, and open communication, INFJs work towards bridging the gap between their inner world and the external reality, fostering deeper connections and fostering greater understanding among themselves and those around them. 3. Betrayal and disloyalty. For INFJs, trust and loyalty are paramount values that form the foundation of their relationships. They invest deeply in the connections they form with others, believing in the inherent goodness and integrity of those they care about. However, this unwavering trust can also make them particularly vulnerable to the sting of betrayal and disloyalty. INFJs place a high premium on authenticity and honesty in their interactions with others. They value sincerity and integrity, expecting the same level of commitment and loyalty from those they hold dear. When someone they trust breaches that trust or demonstrates disloyalty, it can shatter the INFJ's sense of security and stability. The fear of betrayal looms large in the mind of an INFJ as they grapple with the possibility of being deceived or let down by those they've invested their trust in. This fear can manifest in various ways, from a reluctance to open up and fully trust others to a heightened sense of vigilance and skepticism in their relationships. Moreover, INFJs may internalize feelings of betrayal, blaming themselves for not being discerning enough or for misjudging the character of those who have betrayed them. They may struggle with feelings of hurt, anger, and betrayal, grappling with the emotional fallout of broken trust and fractured relationships. In romantic relationships, INFJs may be particularly sensitive to signs of infidelity or dishonesty, fearing the devastating impact that betrayal can have on their emotional well-being. They may guard their hearts closely, hesitant to fully commit or let their guard down for fear of being hurt. Despite these fears, INFJs are not resigned to a life of mistrust and suspicion. They recognize the inherent risks involved in forming deep connections with others, but choose to remain open-hearted and compassionate nonetheless. Through introspection and communication, INFJs work to establish healthy boundaries and cultivate relationships built on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. While the fear of betrayal may always linger in the background, INFJs refuse to let it define or dictate the course of their relationships, striving instead to foster genuine connections based on authenticity and loyalty. 4. Injustice and inequality. INFJs have a strong sense of justice and a desire to make the world a better place. The prevalence of injustice and inequality in society can be a source of deep distress for them. INFJs may fear being unable to effect meaningful change or feeling powerless in the face of systemic issues. NFJs possess a strong sense of justice and fairness, driven by their deep empathy and compassion for others. They are acutely attuned to the suffering and struggles of marginalized individuals and communities, and they are deeply committed to advocating for equality and social justice. However, the prevalence of injustice and inequality in the world can be deeply distressing for INFJs. They are keenly aware of the systemic barriers and prejudices that perpetuate social inequities, and they feel a profound sense of responsibility to address these issues and work towards positive change. The fear of injustice weighs heavily on the minds of INFJs as they witness the pervasive effects of discrimination, oppression, and exploitation in society. They may feel overwhelmed by the enormity of the task before them, grappling with feelings of frustration and helplessness in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Moreover, INFJs may struggle with feelings of guilt and privilege, recognizing their own relative advantages in comparison to those who face systemic oppression and discrimination. They may feel compelled to use their platform and privilege to amplify the voices of marginalized communities and advocate for meaningful reforms that address the root causes of injustice. In their pursuit of social justice, INFJs may encounter resistance and opposition from those who are resistant to change or who benefit from the status quo. This can be disheartening for INFJs, who may feel discouraged by the lack of progress or the backlash they face for their advocacy efforts. Despite these challenges, INFJs remain steadfast in their commitment to creating a more just and equitable world. They draw strength from their values and convictions, channeling their empathy and determination into meaningful action. Whether through grassroots activism, advocacy work, or community organizing, INFJs are dedicated to making a positive impact and standing up for those who are marginalized and oppressed. In the face of injustice and inequality, INFJs refuse to remain silent or passive. They recognize that true progress requires collective effort and solidarity, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to create a more inclusive and compassionate society for all. 5. Failure to live up to their potential. INFJs possess a profound sense of purpose and a deep desire to make a meaningful impact on the world around them. They are driven by a vision of a better future and are committed to using their talents and abilities to bring about positive change. However, the fear of failing to live up to their own potential can be a constant source of anxiety and self-doubt for INFJs. From a young age, INFJs often feel a sense of responsibility to make a difference in the world. They may have grand aspirations and lofty goals, fueled by their idealism and passion for social justice. However, as they navigate the complexities of life and face inevitable challenges and setbacks, they may find themselves grappling with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. The fear of falling short of their own expectations can be paralyzing for INFJs, causing them to second-guess themselves and their abilities. They may worry that they are not smart enough, talented enough, or capable enough to make a real difference in the world. This fear of failure can lead to perfectionism and procrastination, as INFJs strive for unattainable standards of success. Moreover, INFJs may internalize societal pressures and expectations, measuring their worth and value based on external achievements and accolades. They may feel pressure to conform to conventional definitions of success, even if it means sacrificing their own values and authenticity in the process. In relationships, INFJs may fear disappointing or letting down their loved ones, particularly if they perceive themselves as falling short of their own expectations. They may put undue pressure on themselves to be the perfect partner, parent, or friend, striving to meet impossibly high standards of perfection. Despite these fears, INFJs are resilient and determined individuals who refuse to let their insecurities hold them back. They recognize that failure is a natural part of the journey towards personal and professional growth, and they are willing to embrace the challenges and uncertainties that come with pursuing their dreams. Through self-reflection, self-compassion, and perseverance, INFJs work to overcome their fear of failure and live authentically in alignment with their values and passions. They draw strength from their inner conviction and sense of purpose, trusting in their ability to make a meaningful difference in the world, one small step at a time. 6. Conflict and confrontation. INFJs are known for their aversion to conflict and their desire for harmony in their relationships. They value empathy, understanding, and compromise, and they often go to great lengths to avoid confrontation whenever possible. However, the fear of conflict and confrontation can still loom large in the minds of INFJs, impacting their relationships and decision-making processes. For INFJs, conflict can feel overwhelming and emotionally draining. They may experience intense feelings of anxiety and discomfort at the thought of engaging in confrontational situations, preferring instead to retreat or withdraw in order to preserve their emotional well-being. This aversion to conflict can sometimes be misconstrued as passivity or avoidance by others, when in reality it stems from a deep-seated desire to maintain peace and harmony. Moreover, INFJs may fear the potential consequences of confrontation, worrying that it will damage their relationships or lead to irreparable harm. They may hesitate to express their true thoughts and feelings for fear of causing conflict or upsetting others, choosing instead to suppress their emotions in order to keep the peace. In romantic relationships, INFJs may struggle with assertiveness and boundary setting, fearing that expressing their needs and desires will lead to conflict or rejection. They may prioritize the needs of their partner over their own, sacrificing their own happiness and well-being in order to avoid rocking the boat. Additionally, INFJs may internalize feelings of guilt and self-blame when conflicts do arise, even if they are not directly responsible for the situation. They may ruminate on past disagreements or misunderstandings, replaying the scenario in their minds and second-guessing their actions or words. Despite their fear of conflict, INFJs are not powerless in the face of confrontation. With practice and support, they can learn to navigate difficult conversations and assert their needs and boundaries in a healthy and constructive manner. By approaching conflict with empathy, openness, and a willingness to listen, INFJs can work towards resolving conflicts and strengthening their relationships, fostering greater understanding and connection in the process. INFJs are known for their preference for harmony and peace in their relationships, often going to great lengths to avoid conflict and confrontation. This aversion to conflict stems from their deep empathy and desire to maintain positive connections with others, as well as their discomfort with the emotional intensity that often accompanies confrontational situations. For INFJs, conflict can feel overwhelming and emotionally draining. They may experience anxiety and stress at the mere thought of engaging in confrontational interactions, preferring instead to retreat or withdraw in order to preserve their emotional well-being. This tendency to avoid conflict can sometimes be misconstrued as weakness or avoidance by others, when in reality it reflects the INFJ's commitment to maintaining harmony and respect in their relationships. Moreover, INFJs may fear the potential consequences of confrontation, worrying that it will damage their relationships or lead to irreparable harm. They may hesitate to express their true thoughts and feelings for fear of causing conflict or upsetting others, choosing instead to suppress their emotions in order to keep the peace. In romantic relationships, INFJs may struggle with assertiveness and boundary setting, fearing that expressing their needs and desires will lead to conflict or rejection. They may prioritize the needs of their partner over their own, sacrificing their own happiness and well-being in order to avoid rocking the boat. Additionally, INFJs may internalize feelings of guilt and self-blame when conflicts do arise, even if they are not directly responsible for the situation. They may ruminate on past disagreements or misunderstandings, replaying the scenario in their minds and second-guessing their actions or words. Despite their aversion to conflict, INFJs are not powerless in the face of confrontation. With practice and support, they can learn to navigate difficult conversations and assert their needs and boundaries in a healthy and constructive manner. By approaching conflict with empathy, openness, and a willingness to listen, INFJs can work towards resolving conflicts and strengthening their relationships, fostering greater understanding and connection in the process. 7. Feeling overwhelmed by the world's pain. INFJs are deeply attuned to the suffering of others and may feel overwhelmed by the pain and injustice present in the world. The constant barrage of negative news and traumatic events can take a toll on their mental health, leading to feelings of despair and hopelessness. NFJs possess a profound sensitivity to the emotions and experiences of others, often absorbing the pain and suffering present in the world around them. This heightened empathy can be both a gift and a burden for INFJs as they navigate the complexities of human suffering and strive to make a positive difference in the lives of those in need. The world can be a harsh and unforgiving place, filled with injustice, suffering, and tragedy. For INFJs, who feel deeply and intensely, the pain of others can weigh heavily on their hearts, leaving them feeling overwhelmed and helpless in the face of such immense suffering. INFJs may find themselves deeply affected by stories of injustice, violence, and oppression, unable to shake the feelings of anger, sadness, and despair that arise from bearing witness to human suffering. They may feel a profound sense of empathy for those who are marginalized or oppressed, yearning to alleviate their pain and bring about positive change in the world. However, the sheer magnitude of the world's pain can sometimes feel overwhelming for INFJs, leaving them feeling powerless to make a meaningful impact. They may struggle with feelings of guilt and helplessness, wondering if their efforts are truly making a difference in the face of such immense suffering. Moreover, INFJs may grapple with the challenge of maintaining their own emotional well-being while simultaneously bearing the weight of the world's pain. They may struggle to find balance and boundaries in their relationships and activism, risking burnout and compassion fatigue in their quest to make a difference. Despite these challenges, INFJs remain resilient in their commitment to compassion and justice. They draw strength from their values and convictions, channeling their empathy and compassion into meaningful action. Whether through advocacy work, volunteering, or simply lending a listening ear to those in need, INFJs strive to make a positive impact in the lives of others, one small act of kindness at a time. In the face of overwhelming pain and suffering, INFJs refuse to lose hope or succumb to despair. They recognize the inherent goodness and resilience of the human spirit, and they remain steadfast in their belief that compassion and empathy have the power to transform lives and create a better world for all. INFJs possess an acute awareness of the suffering and injustices that permeate our world, often internalizing the pain of others as if it were their own. This deep empathy can be both a blessing and a curse, as INFJs grapple with the emotional toll of bearing witness to the struggles of humanity. Imagine walking through life with an open heart, constantly attuned to the joys and sorrows of those around you. For INFJs, this heightened sensitivity means that they are acutely aware of the injustices and inequalities that exist in society. They feel the pain of those who are marginalized, oppressed, or suffering, and they are compelled to take action in order to alleviate their suffering. However, this deep empathy can also be overwhelming for INFJs, as they struggle to reconcile their desire to help with the harsh realities of the world. They may feel a sense of despair and hopelessness in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, wondering if their efforts will ever be enough to make a meaningful difference. Moreover, INFJs may grapple with feelings of guilt and responsibility, believing that they should be doing more to alleviate the suffering of others. They may struggle to find balance in their lives, constantly feeling torn between their desire to help others and their need to prioritize their own well-being. In relationships, INFJs may find themselves absorbing the emotional burdens of those around them, offering support and comfort to friends, family members, and even strangers in need. While their compassion is admirable, it can also take a toll on their mental and emotional health, leaving them feeling drained and exhausted. Despite these challenges, INFJs remain steadfast in their commitment to making a positive impact in the world. They draw strength from their values and convictions, channeling their empathy and compassion into meaningful action. Whether through volunteering, advocacy work, or simply lending a listening ear to those in need, INFJs strive to create a more compassionate and just world for all. In the face of overwhelming pain and suffering, INFJs refuse to lose hope or give up on their mission to make a difference. They believe in the power of empathy and compassion to heal wounds, bridge divides, and bring about positive change, and they are determined to continue fighting for a better future, no matter how daunting the challenges may seem. Exploring the fears of the INFJ personality type provides valuable insight into the complexities of their inner world. If you're an INFJ, do any of these resonate with you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you're not an INFJ, stay tuned for more insights into different personality types on Psych IQ.